I don't know if I've seen all of these, to be honest. I actually am certainly sure that I have not. Okay. We're gonna skip movies that I haven't seen. Pinocchio! Pinocchio scarred me as a child. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. The scene where they turn into, oh, I should mention this real quick. This is gonna be filled with lots of spoilers for Disney movies. I apologize. I can't help it. If you haven't seen some of these movies and you don't want them to get spoiled, I'm sorry. Okay, Pinocchio. Terrifying. The donkey scene where they turn into donkeys literally scarred me as a child, messed me up, gave me trust issues. Although it does teach like a good lesson about like not lying and learning to like be your honest, true self and like not compromise who you are. But it terrified me. I'm gonna give it it's a classic. When You Wish Upon a Star, great song. I'm gonna give it a B, but I wanna put it in C because I never wanna watch it again. It was terrifying. But it's a classic. It's fine. It can be in B. The Little Mermaid. This is where we're already getting controversial. We're already getting spicy. I don't like the message that The Little Mermaid sends. I think it sends a horrible message to young women about giving up your voice so easily for a man. I don't like the message that it sends. The music is great, but I hate this message that we're sending to little girls. I don't like it. So the only reason I'm gonna give it a C is because of Under the Sea. That's the only reason it gets a C. If Sebastian was not in this movie, D. Hate the message that it sends to women. I don't like it. Now, am I gonna be hypocritical and probably put some other movies that send questionable messages to women higher than this? Yes, I will probably be hypocritical. It's okay. We all have things we're hypocritical over. It's all right. This is my opinion. You're allowed to like the movie. I don't like it. Mulan! Mulan. I love Mulan. Mulan is one of my favorites. It's an incredible message. It's the exact opposite of this abysmal movie. It is the best. It sends a wonderful female empowerment message. I love it. I love it so much. Mwah, it's perfect. Also, you have Mushu. Incredible, funny, hilarious comedic relief. Absolutely amazing. A glimmer of light in the movie. And wonderful songs such as A Girl Worth Fighting For, I'll Make a Man Out of You, and Reflection. Lest we not forget Reflection. It is a beautiful, beautiful musical, and it is absolutely amazing and perfect. And it goes in S tier. Yeah, Mulan can get it. Toy Story! Toy Story! What a classic. What a classic. Toy Story's great. I was never like super obsessed with Toy Story, but it's a great story, and I think it's really sweet, and the whole franchise of Toy Story is actually like really sad. It gets sadder and sadder, I feel like, as you get into it, but it's just a really unique and beautiful story, and it's really well told. And You Got a Friend in Me is a great song. For me, it's not a movie I like watching all the time, really, but it is funny. I feel like I'm gonna put it in A. That might be controversial. It's not an S tier for me, okay? This is my list. Only my favorites are going in S tier. Toy Story is a good movie though. Princess and the Frog. I've seen this once. I've not seen it more than once. I remember liking it. I remember thinking it was sweet, and the villain was awesome. I really liked the villain in this movie. He was really unique, really spooky, but also really mystical. I really liked him a lot, but I don't remember it that much. So like, it's been a while. I haven't felt the need to rewatch it. I remember it like being enjoyable, but I don't really remember being moved a ton by it. That's just me personally. So I think I'm gonna give it a B. That's just me. I would be open to rewatching it, but I don't really remember it moving me initially the first time I saw it a ton. I just really liked the villain. That was kind of what stood out to me the most, was the music was really good. I really liked that whole like jazzy New Orleans feel. Fantasia. Okay, how many Fantasias are there? I've only seen one of the Fantasias, and I want to make sure this is the right one. I'm just gonna guess that this is the right one. If it's the one with the broomstick number, I liked this movie a lot. I liked it a lot. I have not watched it since I was a kid, but I remember watching it multiple times as a child. I was obsessed with classical music. I'm gonna rank this at A. I'm not gonna say S tier just because I haven't really felt the need to rewatch it, but I Oh, they both have the broomsticks. Got it. Okay, well, I loved this as a kid. I loved classical music, and I just thought this was so cool and kind of scary, but really cool. Dinosaur. I loved Dinosaur. I loved this movie, man. I was such a nerd as a kid. Y'all have no idea. I loved dinosaurs. I used to want to be a paleontologist. No joke. I loved dinosaurs. I loved anything themed around dinosaurs as a kid. And I watched this one a lot. Like, I rewatched it over and over and over again. I don't think it's, you know, an S tier, but I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A for sure. Because it's not one of those movies that I think about all the time now, but I have thought about it as an adult, and I have wanted to rewatch it. It's pretty good. Oliver and Company, another amazing movie. Now, I was raised on Billy Joel, so I was destined to love this movie. Because if you don't know, Billy Joel is the voice of the dog. The music is great. Why Should I Worry? Awesome song. Oliver is awesome and so sweet. I'm a sucker for movies with animals, okay? If there's an animal in a movie, or if the movie's centered around animals only, the likelihood of me loving it goes up like a 50%. So Oliver, to me, is an S tier movie. I know, that's crazy. Maybe it's crazy. I love it. Why should I worry? Why should I worry what anyone thinks? It's an S tier movie. I love it. Okay, The Incredibles. Okay, so, I feel like I'm gonna really polarize some people here. I need to watch The Incredibles again. If I'm being completely honest, I think I need to rewatch it because I only saw it once when it came out and I don't really remember a lot of it, like at all. The Incredicoaster in Disneyland, really fun, like that a lot. I know a lot of people rave about The Incredibles. I didn't feel that way when I watched it. I thought it was fine. So if I'm going based off of my first viewing, it's gonna be a B, which a lot of people love at The Incredibles. So I'm sorry, but right now, after only seeing it once, I would just give it a B. I think I need to rewatch it as I'm more of an adult now to give it a better score, but that kind of honestly applies to most of the movies here. Like all of these movies, I would need to rewatch to rejudge them, quite frankly. So I would give it a B. The Jungle Book. What did I say about animals? What did I say? Now there is a man, or there's a boy in this movie, so it's like one negative point, but it's fine because he's a cute boy and he has a great relationship and the animals all talk. So The Jungle Book, I was obsessed with as a kid. I loved this movie. I think it's a really interesting movie. I don't know if I'm not gonna give it S tier, but there's some good music. I mean, the bare necessities, great. There's some really interesting like themes explored with each animal having its own like personality trait. I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it a solid A. Brave! Oh my God, Brave. I saw this movie once and only once. Not because it wasn't good, but because it was so good and it struck such a nerve with me, such a chord in my little heart that I can't watch it again because I was so devastated emotionally because this movie touches on mommy issues. And I love my mom, but we've had our fair share of issues. And at this time in my life, when this movie came out, we were having our issues. And we both watched it separately and like told each other about it. And we're like, did you see that one? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, she was like, did you cry? I'm like, yeah. Did you? She was like, yeah. And that was the only amount we talked about it. So I think this is gonna be crazy, but I think I have to put it at S tier because for me, it was that poignant. It might not strike a nerve with everyone, and it's not one of those movies that gets talked about a lot or that a lot of people watch all the time, but for me, it really hit me in my heart. So I'm gonna give it an S tier. 101 Dalmatians. 101 Dalmatians is fine. It's fine. It's not the Aristocats. So honestly, C. For Cruella. C for Cruella. Without her, that movie is dull as Aristocats! Aristocats is a great movie. I liked Aristocats a lot. It's really cute, really fun. Music, very fun, very like jazzy, petty, you know? The cats are hilarious. They all have really great personalities. But the puppies, listen, I love puppies, but the cats just have better personalities. I'm sorry to say, they did more for me. They were funnier, they had better personalities, and their story was more compelling to watch. So, A it is for Aristocats. Toy Story 2, I don't remember what happens in this. All I remember is Jessie. I like Jessie. I feel like I'm gonna rank it at B because it's not as good as the first one. I don't remember it as much, but Jessie's cool. Tangled. Tangled is great. Every time I do one of those little filters on Tyler, that like on TikTok, that like show you who your partner looks like as like a Disney fairy tale character, he always gets Flynn Rider. Always. And I kind of agree. He really is Flynn Rider. And so I really do feel like this is the movie that modeled men for me that I like in an animated form. The music's great. Mother Knows Best. Awesome villain song. At Last I See the Light, beautiful. I really do love it. There's some funny characters, you know, Pascal, the horse. It's just a good time. It's a really good time. It's a good movie. I think I'm gonna give it an A. I think this is like the first time there's like a princess who I'm like on board with. I kind of dig her. She's cool. Peter Pan! Peter Pan is fine. Like, I had to be in one too many Peter Pan productions as a child, and so the first time I was ever in a Peter Pan production, I got cast as the dog, Nana. So Peter Pan and I have a really tense relationship. I just see it as a time where I was scarred as a kid for having to play a dog. I like to think that it shaped me into who I am today. I have a thicker skin because of the time I had to play Nana in front of my whole summer camp. I must mention, this was not like me playing Nana for like a random group of people. This was me playing Nana at a summer camp where I was bullied. So it was not a pleasant experience. I think the stage version is much better than the movie, actually, though, to be honest. So Peter Pan, to me, is a C. Tinkerbell's the best character because she's sassy as f. But other than that, like, Wendy's kind of annoying. Moana, I actually think was overrated. I didn't think it was that good. This might be a hot take, but I hated the fact that I could hear Lin-Manuel Miranda's voice in the ensemble. To me, Lin-Manuel Miranda is a great writer. He's not a good singer. So when I could hear him piped into the ensemble, it was really jarring to me and kind of pulled me out of the world. That's just me because I'm familiar with his work. I also just think it was kind of meh. I don't think the story was like super, it didn't hit every emotional mark for me. I do think the song that Moana gets to sing, like her song is a good song, and I think Ali Cravalho is great and massively talented, but this movie is just meh to me, and I'm gonna give it a C. I said it. Oh, Big Hero 6! I've seen that. That was great. Big Hero 6 is awesome. I loved Big Hero 6. Really great movie. I will say I called the brother dying very fast. I told you there were gonna be spoilers, I'm sorry. I did call the brother dying really quickly because it just kind of made sense. And it was really easily preventable, which was kind of frustrating, but the story was really heartwarming and really beautiful. Do I like it as much as the Aristocats? There's more nostalgia there for me with the Aristocats, but I think Big Hero 6 is a really beautiful movie. I want to give it like a B+. I really want to give it like a B+. I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A for Baymax is just great. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Alice in Wonderland. Okay, it's regular, fine. Okay, great. I have seen Alice in Wonderland like once. I don't really remember it, to be honest. I think people love Alice in Wonderland because it makes them think of like an acid trip. It's fine. I don't really think it's all that great. I don't know. I think the artwork is cool, but it's just kind of creepy. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It was never really my jam of a movie. So because of that, it's a cultural moment, right? Like this movie is a cultural, what's it called? Icon? I don't know. It's like, it's a big deal in terms of like the art style that it influenced and like festival culture and like drug culture. But I just like, who cares? It's a C. It's whatever. C for Cheshire Cat. Okay. Cinderella. Okay. Cinderella is another movie with kind of a weird moral, but it's a classic. Bippity-boppity-boo. And the mice are really cute. I do like the mice. I really just love the animal sidekicks in all of these movies. They're like my favorite part. Cinderella, it's pretty mid. It's a classic, so in that sense, like she's got that solo that's really beautiful. There's some great music. It's a classic, but it's like, yeah, she's looking to be saved by a Prince Charming, and I'm like, ma'am, you could just like leave your family. Like you could just go out there and like leave and go get a job somewhere else. Like it's just kind of a sad, it's not very empowering, right? And I don't like that, but it's a classic. So I think I'm gonna give it a B just for the influence it's had in like Disney, but it's kind of It's kind of meh. Brother Bear. I love Brother Bear. It is such a sweet movie. Oh my God. I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. Coda is named after the little baby bear in Brother Bear, so that should tell you how much I like that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but that movie really stuck with me. I think it's just so sweet. It's basically like it's kind of like, it's not really a story on racism, but there are some themes that kind of touch on racism a little bit, in the sense that he hates bears and then becomes one and like wants to be back to being a human, but then goes back to like take care of this little baby bear who depends on him now. And it's like, it's so selfless. Oh, I love it. But it's also like a story of like letting go of hatred and revenge. And it's just so beautiful. I'm crying. I'm literally crying right now. Brother Bear is S tier for me. I'm so emotional just thinking about it. It's so good. Coco! Coco was so good too. Coco was also really good. Oh man, Coco's great. But I don't know if I'm gonna give it S tier, but that's just because, oh no, but maybe I should. It was so good. You know what? It's S tier. It doesn't have the same sentimental value to me as these other movies do, but it was so perfect, I can't deny it. It was so perfect. Ratatouille! So Ratatouille is one of those movies that gets a ton of love, like a ton of love. I liked Ratatouille. I thought it was good. It didn't like hit me and stay with me the same way that everything else on S tier has. So I don't think it's an S tier. I think it's a good movie. Honestly, it's funny, like it's heartwarming and it's funny, but I don't know. I haven't rewatched it since, or felt like the need to rewatch it. I know a lot of people are obsessed with it. I think I'm just gonna give it, oh God, but it's definitely better than Cinderella. I think I have to give it a B just because these movies that are in A really hit me in my heart or are really sentimental to me. And Ratatouille just didn't. I haven't given anything a D ranking yet. Isn't that impressive? Honestly, looking at this list now like makes me want to put the Little Mermaid in D. Like Under the Sea. I just want to put it at D. It pisses me off. Okay, wait, where was I? Aladdin! Okay. Aladdin is great. Aladdin is not my favorite Disney movie. Like, it doesn't have the sentimental quality to me to be an S tier film, but it is incredible. You Ain't Never Had a Friend Like Me, amazing. Jafar, one of the scarier villains in the Disney world. He's very scary. I love the relationship between Jasmine and her father too. Like, it's a good movie, and it's a chance to go back and hear Robin Williams, and that always makes me happy. So the only reason I'm gonna put it in A and not S is just because it's not a movie I rewatch all the time. It's not like or it didn't like hit me in the heart in the way that these ones did. That's why these are up here. That's my reasoning. But this is an incredible movie, and it must be S tier for a lot of people, I'm sure. It's just A tier for me. Snow White. I don't care. Like, it was an iconic movie for its time because wasn't it like the first animated color, like the first color movie? Like, not black and white. It's just about being beautiful and like waiting for a prince to come kiss you in your sleep and like following dwarves around and like naming them all after personality trait. I don't know. It's like whatever. It was iconic for its time, but I don't care. I don't care. It also feels really biblical with like the apple thing. I don't know. We're gonna put it in D. It. I don't care. I don't care. I'm putting it in D. It's mid. It's below mid. Lady and the Tramp 2. So fun fact, I'm actually really familiar with this more than the original. I feel like I actually know Lady and the Tramp 2 way better than I know the first one. And I really liked it. I think it's sweet. I just have a thing for like animated movies with animals. I just love animals. That's the thing. So I'm actually gonna rank this pretty well. I'm gonna give it, it's not as good as Aladdin. I'm gonna give it a B. It's a B. It's good. It's actually good, guys. Hunchback of Notre Dame. If we're just looking at music, S tier. S tier music. The second act needs work. The first act, perfect. Second act needs some work. Especially that whole number, like A Guy Like You. We don't need it. It was for the kids, but it didn't work. No one wanted to buy the gargoyle toys. And it's kind of, like in today's day and age, it's really offensive to the Romani people. Although it's kind of like that because that's the villain anyway. So like, it's kind of fine because the villain is the problem and he's awful. So the music is S tier, but I don't think the movie is S tier. just for music alone, I have to give it an A. I have to give it an A for the music. It's perfection. We cannot forget The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. We can't forget that. We got his daughter, Kiara, Kovu. It's crazy in this one. It's fine. It's good. I like it. Is it an S tier movie? Absolutely not. But it's got also a lot of daddy issues, a lot of tension in the family going on. It's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet scenario. A lot of the Lion King movies I feel like tend to be centered around like Shakespearean themes. Like the first one was Hamlet. This one is Romeo and Juliet with lions. It probably deserves to live next to the second Lady and the Tramp movie. I already know I'm pissing so many people off. Like, people are like, how could you put this above these movies? Listen, you don't have to agree with me, okay? WALL-E. WALL-E is so sad and great. Fun fact about me. The first time I heard the song We're Coming Down by Peter Gabriel, it's the end credit song for WALL-E. I immediately downloaded it to my iPod because I had an iPod, and that became my landing song. So anytime I was on an airplane, I would play that song. It was like a tradition to hear that song when we were close to landing, and I would just sit and watch out the window as we landed. But it would always be my goal to start the song when I thought it would finish just as we'd touch ground. Sometimes it worked, but not often. So anyway, WALL-E's a great movie. It's sad though, like when you look at like the people in it and like how real it is. It's kind of dark, but it's also like adorable. So I think, and it's uplifting too at the end. So, oh God. It's also like such a unique story, like for its time, it was really unique. Do I rank it above Aristocats? That's my conundrum right now, because I love Aristocats. I think I have to, just because this was my like, We're Coming Down. It's so nostalgic for me. So I think I'm gonna give it S. WALL-E's great. Atlantis. I haven't seen Atlantis in a really long time, and like Lilo and Stitch, I don't know how much of it I really remember. Oh God, I feel like if I rank this, I'm just gonna be guessing. You know what, F it. The art was so cool. Milo was cool. I remember I liked Milo. That's his name, right? The lead. F it, I'm doing it based on feelings. I don't really remember, but I'm gonna say A for Atlantis. Lion King 1.5, back to my category. Oh my God, Lion King 1.5 is great. If you haven't seen it, you must. It is told from the perspective of Timon, and it's adorable. It's just so good. It's so good. And this is the movie that whenever I got nauseous, between the ages of like 10 and 15, whenever I'd get like a flu or a stomach bug and I had to stay home, I would watch this movie because it made me feel better. So for that, God, A or S, I don't even, oh God, it's nostalgic for me, but I think I have to give it A. I like want to give it S just because I love it so much, but I think I have to give it A because The Lion King still hits harder for me. So we're gonna put that in A. Hercules. Okay, fucking incredible. Another thing we did on the way home was listen to a couple Hercules songs on the drive home. We listened to, mainly I wanted to listen to the Danny DeVito song because when A Guy Like You came on with Hunchback, I was like, you know, it's interesting. This is a lot like Danny DeVito's song in Hercules, but his is just way better. It's got a better journey. It's more catchy. And it's funny because Jason Alexander is a much better singer than Danny DeVito, but Danny DeVito's song just slaps. All the music in Hercules is great, to be honest. It's going in S tier. I love it. It's perfect. I love it. I also love Meg because she's f***ing sassy. She's just so sassy, and I love her. Sleeping Beauty. So I'm gonna put this in C because I love ballet. So I love all like the ballet and the dancing that they kind of do. I love the fairy godmothers. I like the villain turning into a dragon is really cool at the end, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't like the messaging, right? Like the messaging is lame. It's just lame. She gotta have a prince come save her and kiss her and wake her up. It's kind of like lame. It's like this over here, okay? Right, like I'm sick. We're just doing another version of it and I don't like it. But I'm ranking it higher than Snow White because we got more going on in this movie that is better, I think. And I just feel like there's more personality to Aurora than there is to Snow White. And with Snow White, like the whole driving purpose of the villain is like, she's beautiful, she's the fairest of them all, so I'm gonna kill her because I want to be the fairest of them all. So it's a really vain thing too. I remember like having more nostalgia with this movie. Like I enjoyed watching it a little bit more than this, but I still never was that kind of girl. Monsters, Inc. Oh my God, what a good movie. Mike Wazowski. Oh, Monsters, Inc. is fucking great, man. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. The fact that like they go from like needing to make the kids scared to then learning that laughter is more powerful, and it's just the metaphors in that, and the villain in that is also really creepy. I haven't seen Monsters, Inc. in a while, but like I'm tempted to give it S tier just because of the secretary and like all the funny lines, and like for me, it's probably more realistically an A movie because it's not a movie I think about all the time, but at the end of the day, it's also just great. It's perfect. I'm gonna give it S tier. It's perfect. It deserves to be there. I have to. Okay. Inside Out. Dude, Inside Out was sad, man. So sad. The cast for Inside Out was perfect. The story's great. The whole scene with the imaginary friend, though, fading, broke me. So devastatingly sad. The whole mental health component, I mean, it was just so well done. But it's like too real for me to put it in S tier, because like I don't know, like I can't handle it on a regular basis. So I'm gonna put it in A. It's really good. I don't think there's anything I would do to fix it. I just don't want to watch it again because it was so sad. So I'm gonna put it here, but it's really good. Funnily enough, I've seen The Little Mermaid 2. I feel like The Little Mermaid 2 is better than the first one because at least she wants to be a mermaid for her own reasons and not because of a guy. So like, I think it was better. And I actually watched this a lot in my youth. Like I would watch it a lot over and over again because I remember like identifying more with Melody as a character than Ariel. But it's definitely not better than The Lion King 2. It's probably on par with it, so. These sequels were good, I'm just gonna say, okay? These sequels were decent. Lilo and Stitch. This is a great movie. I also don't really remember everything that happens, but I remember like the opening number. The music was a bop. I used to listen to Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride on repeat as a kid. I loved that song. And the aliens are cool, like meeting all the different aliens was fun, but I don't really remember a lot of it. So I'm gonna have a hard time ranking this one. I don't even remember who the villain was in this movie. Like I couldn't even tell you if my life depended on it. I don't remember a lot. So like part of me wants to put this in A. I think I'm gonna put it in A because it was good. It's not like Monsters, Inc. where like I haven't seen it in ages, but I remember everything and it was like, it stuck out to me as brilliant and it just was like so good. Like Lilo and Stitch is great. I remember it being great, but I can't like, I bet if I rewatched it as an adult, I would rank it higher, but I would just need to rewatch it. It's like Atlantis. I don't remember. My memory is just not that sharp. So Tarzan. Oh my God. Trashing the Camp is a bop. Oh, Tarzan starts off real sad, you know, with the parents and the jaguar, but then he redeems himself later. Like Jane is also brilliant and smart and funny. She's like one of the few like female characters in the earlier, it's not like a super early Disney movie, but it's like early-ish. Like she's great. Her father's f***ing adorable. The villain is awful, very like intense and scary and just horrible to wildlife. But then his death scene is like so heavy for a children's movie. And it's so poetic because he does it to himself. It's like his own undoing that causes it. Tarzan's a great movie, but I don't think it's S tier. The music in Tarzan's so good too. Oh fuck. If I just had to do it based off of the music, I would put Tarzan in S tier because I love the music. But I'm gonna put A. A is fine. A's good. Frozen! I loved the first Frozen because I have a sister and I really do kind of relate to Elsa a little bit. I mean, not because I have some magical ability that like means I have to shelter myself from the world, but like in the sister relationship, like I do kind of relate more to Elsa, and I'm the older sister. So I went, and also when I went to see Frozen, I went and saw it in theaters with my sister, and I wept and she didn't. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Lauren, this is us." She's like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Gah!" So Frozen, I really loved Frozen. I also really like that in Frozen, Anna gets like punished for being so naive and like hopelessly optimistic in romance to a fault. Like she makes a mistake and trusts a guy she shouldn't just because she wants to live in like a fantasy land, and it backfires on her, and I like that. I like it a lot. And also Olaf is so f***ing cute, and so is the reindeer, and I'm gonna put this in A. I like it a lot. Yeah. It doesn't have the same, like, cause I was an adult when this came out, so it doesn't have like the same nostalgia. I'm kind of tempted to put it in S, but if I'm not gonna put Tarzan in S, and I'm not gonna put Lilo and Stitch in S, it's not gonna go in S, cause it's on par with these movies for me. Okay, Lady and the Tramp. I don't like remember jack about Lady and the Tramp besides the spaghetti scene. Does anybody else feel that way? I mean, okay, no, that's not true. I remember the Scottish Terrier, he was adorable. But I don't really remember, like, I don't remember enough, like, it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't really want to rank this that high, because I just don't, I mean, like, okay, for the classic Italian date scene, the classic Italian date scene is like an A, but the rest of the movie, I remember like she's in a home with Siamese kittens and it's rough for her because they're mean, and that's like really all I remember. So I can't rank it above the second one, guys. Here's the thing. I can't rank this above Lady and the Tramp 2 because I genuinely like and remember Lady and the Tramp 2 more than Lady and the Tramp. So we're gonna put them next to each other. Bambi. I actually love Bambi. Shocker, right? Because I love animals. And I just keep saying, like, when there's animals in a Disney or an animated movie, the chances of me liking it go up by like 15. No, they go up by like 50% probably. Bambi's sad AF, man. It's so sad, but I kind of like those Disney movies that have a darker, sadder side to them too. It's so sad. It's such a sad movie. But it's beautiful. It's like a real like vignette of a deer in the woods. I'm gonna give it A. I'm gonna give it an A. I know a lot of people might not agree. I'm giving it an A. It doesn't get S tier for me. It's definitely not S tier, but it gets A for me. Pocahontas. Colors of the Wind is amazing. The little raccoon guy is amazing. The hummingbird is amazing. I'm just trying to remember everything that happens in Pocahontas, like the story of it all. It's like pioneers come and they're racist. Savages is actually a pretty good number, not gonna lie. It's a pretty scary number. Pocahontas is good. I can't, like, isn't the ending just like they leave? They're like, we can't make peace, so we're gonna leave. And like her dad dies too, which is really sad. And I remember that hitting me really hard. Pocahontas is a pretty good movie. Colors of the Wind is an S tier song though. Like if we were just going off of the song Colors of the Wind, and it's Lea Salonga, right? I'm pretty sure she's the voice. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? The raccoon and the Colors of the Wind are S tier for me. But I think like, John Smith is, and like the ending is like a little like, yeah, I don't know. It's not S tier, but I'll give it an A. I'll give it an A. That's how I feel, right? Yeah, that's how I feel. Okay, Emperor's New Groove. Oh my God. Emperor's New Groove goes all the way up here. I f***ing love the Emperor's New Groove. I f***ing love it. Cusco, hysterical. Yzma, the best villain. The best. Hands down, the best villain in any Disney movie. Because she's hilarious. Kronk, hilarious. Talking to squirrels all the time. It's an S tier. This movie's just frickin' great. And it has such a sweet and beautiful ending where the protagonist really has so much growth and it's painstakingly slow throughout the movie, and it's just great. It's just so good. Pull the lever, Kronk! Wrong lever! So good. And then she's a kitten in the end. Like, she's a psychotic kitten, and I love it. Anyway, The Fox and the Hound. So now, some of y'all might not agree on this, and that's okay. We don't have to agree. But Fox and the Hound is an S tier movie, okay? Fox and the Hound, man. It's emotionally devastating, and it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful metaphor for, like, dealing with prejudice and racism and, like, trying to grow up. Like watching kids grow up not learning racist behavior, and then it like them having to like be conditioned into that racism later because of their family, and still resisting that because they know it's wrong in the end. But like the ending is like this really bittersweet ending. It's brutal. It's this really bittersweet ending. This is like one of my favorite movies. This is one of my favorite Disney movies. It's probably like it's definitely top 5. It's definitely top 5 of my favorite Disney movies. I will say the one problem I have with The Fox and the Hound is the fact that this old woman just abandons a 100% domesticated fox in the middle of the woods in a rainstorm and is just like, good luck, I love you. Like, it's crazy. That scene is kind of crazy when you think about it. It doesn't really make sense. It's like, ma'am, you just sentenced that fox to death. Like, that fox is completely dependent on you to survive. But for the sake of the story and the movie, it has to happen because she's doing it to doing it to protect the fox because of the crazy neighbor. So it makes sense, but it's heartbreaking in the movie, but it's just like, and it's a great like emotional depth for the that protagonist to come, because it's really two protagonists. It's both the fox and the hound, but it's like a great emotionally dark place for that fox to then like grow and pull himself back out of, and it's so sad. Oh God, I can't think about it. Okay, oh my God, I'm getting emotional. Holy shit, I can't do this. Oh no. That happened so quickly. I was fine until I thought about it. All right, we're moving on. Oh God, no, stop. Okay. Jesus Christ. Finding Nemo, thank God. Okay. What happened? I just got so emotional so fast. Dude, I'm so embarrassed right now. Oh my God. Sorry, now I'm like crying and laughing, which is like a crazy combination. Oh my God, I'm such a wreck today, yo. Anyway. Finding Nemo's great. Finding Nemo's so good. Finding Nemo's also sad, and it's such a unique, like, concept, you know? Like, we've seen overprotective parents in other Disney movies, you know, like King Trident or whatever. All the protective parents live in the ocean. But I feel like this is the first Disney movie, and I could be wrong, but I feel like this was the first one where it's really focused on the parents' perspective and not the kids. Like, we even start off before the child's even born and like seeing this tragic accident unfold. I'm gonna cry again, I forgot it. Okay, so the beginning is really sad. We're not gonna talk about it. Dory though is like hilarious and like a bright light in the movie. And the turtle too. Like, there's just so many great characters and it's so sweet. And the lines, like, that's so quotable. It's such a quotable movie. Like, what I will say is I remember Finding Nemo and Shark Tale kind of came out around the same time, and I loved Shark Tale, and Shark Tale wasn't getting the love that I thought it deserved because everybody was obsessed with Finding Nemo. So I remember when I was a kid being like over Finding Nemo, but like, it's actually incredible. It's a great movie. So mine. I think it's better. I think it's better than Frozen. We're gonna put it in S. It's an S tier movie. A Bug's Life. I loved A Bug's Life. I loved it. It's like a really, you know what's interesting about A Bug's Life? It's like, you're like, oh, this is just like a story about like predatory like companies, like a corporate world where they're being taken advantage of. I think am I gonna give it an S tier? I watched this movie so many times and it's still good. And the ending is great. You know what? It's an S tier movie. I love A Bug's Life. I do. We haven't gotten to The Lion King yet, I don't think. We didn't skip it, did we? Oh my God, I skipped The Lion King. I skipped it. What the is wrong with me? I cried so hard that I skipped my favorite movie. What's wrong with me? Okay. The Lion King, we don't need to talk about it. We all know it's S tier. There we go. That's what I want. Actually, if I'm doing this, I'm not gonna go through and reorder everything in the perfect order because that would drive me insane, but this is my order for my top 4 probably. Oh yeah. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, my top 5. This is my top 5. Okay, that's my top 5. Oh, A Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas is great, although I f***ing hate her, the girl. Her number was so lame. They had to give her the lamest number. I like could do without that number. I feel like I wanna, I don't think it's better than Lilo and Stitch or Tarzan or Aladdin, so I'm gonna give it a B. And that's gonna make some people mad, but it's good. It's good. B is still good. Okay, I like these movies. Except for Pinocchio. Well, Pinocchio is a classic, and When You Wish Upon a Star, it has to be here, but it's a scary movie. It's like a scary movie to me. But it is like objectively good. Anyway, okay. Beauty and the Beast. So Beauty and the Beast is awesome. Amazing cast of characters. Great music. Great music. Like, Be Our Guest and Beauty and the Beast. Even the Gaston number is so fucking great. I sing that, Tyler and I sing that like most mornings because he eats so many eggs. So we're like, I eat 5 dozen eggs, so I'm roughly the size of a barge. I love the line, I use antlers in all of my decorating. Oh God, I like want to give Beauty and the Beast S tier, but I feel bad ranking it above Aladdin. I do, because Aladdin's really great. Like Prince Ali and Never Have a Friend Like Me are pretty great. Oh God. I feel like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast are on par with each other. So now I'm like, do I move them higher or do I leave them? Like I'm starting, okay. At the end of this, guys, I might rearrange some movies, okay? So this isn't final. Like we might have to fix some stuff because I'm starting to question things. Okay, Toy Story 3. Oh my God, Toy Story 3. Why are all the sad movies at the end? Toy Story 3 is devastating. It's so fucking sad. I remember seeing this in theaters and thinking, what the fuck, Pixar? Like, I remember seeing this movie and thinking, they've taken this too far. This is too sad. It's just devastating, but it's so well done. I'm gonna rank it an A. I think it's on par with the first Toy Story. It's really good, but it's fucking dark. So dark. The only reason I ranked Toy Story lower, honestly, Toy Story 2, is I really don't remember a lot of it, to be honest, I'm sorry. Zootopia! What happens in Zootopia again? I did see this movie. Oh my God, hold on. We're just gonna, what happens in Zootopia? Because like, if I read it, I'll remember. I've seen it recently. Nick and Judy outsmart Bellwether by swapping the night. Nick pretends to be feral. Okay, I don't really remember all that. But I think I remember this movie being good, but like, I never felt the need to watch it again. I remember it being really funny and liking it a lot, but like, I think it's a B. I think it's a B. Encanto, I really liked Encanto. I thought it was an interesting, like, family. I liked Encanto more than Moana, that's for sure. It wrecked me. I like the whole dynamic with this like grandmother who's really harsh on her family, because that's like a real dynamic that like I feel like you don't always see in stories. I mean, you kind of do, but I relate to it. I think I want to give Encanto an A because of how it made me feel. It made me feel things, okay? A. Turning Red. Turning Red, I fucking loved. I think all the people making a weird fuss about it are ridiculous, quite frankly. I think Turning Red was great. I think it's definitely as good as Encanto. This is another movie with a dynamic of like this really harsh mother, except in this scenario, it's like she's more harsh because she's overprotective, which I also really relate to. It's kind of funny, like seeing these girls' faces side by side. Anyway, great movie, great movie. Okay, am I gonna make any changes? I think I should put Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast in S tier. That's what I'm gonna do. I did want to move those, and I was thinking about it. I'm gonna put them in S tier. Yeah, this is my list. This is my list. That's my list. You can hate me if you want, but this is how I feel. And I feel like this is a pretty good list. Wow, you think 101 Dalmatians is better than The Hunchback of Notre Dame? What? I am mind blown.